The tea is exceptionally good today. Who made this? Very delicious. Hold on.
What up, Cosmic Cousins? Now, if you've never been almost electrocuted or shocked by an electrical socket or survived just some overall death-defying, sudden sporadic event, then you may not be familiar with our girl Uranus's game. And when she teams up with an energy like Gemini, you better know that things are going to get a hell of a lot spicier, okay? That's right, Cosmic Cousins. On this episode, we are breaking down that Uranus in Gemini energy. I'm going to give you all the tea on what this energy is finna be. We're going to talk about what we can expect as far as all the energetic changes that we can look forward to within the next 7 years. And we're talking about overall as a community, because that's what Uranus is all about, okay? It's all about the community as well as individually. And you know I'm going to break it down for you per rising sign. But before I get too deep into spilling this tea, you already know what I want from you. Go on and hit that like, go on and subscribe to your girl if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of this cosmic tea that I want to sip with you. Now come on, Cosmic Sippers, we definitely got some homework to do, because Uranus, like I said, is going to be here with us for a while. It's going to be here till 2033. And when I say she did not come to play, she came to really shake some shit up. So let's get straight into it. Now that Uranus is leaving Taurus, thank goodness. Okay, I'm actually celebrating within myself, because that was one hell of a transit. Okay, Taurus and Uranus do not like each other. But one thing that Uranus and Taurus should have taught us is that there are multiple ways of getting to that bag. This is definitely a time to be creative and innovative. And switching over to digital currency has been a big thing. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably not invested in any type of cryptocurrency or anything of that nature. But dare I ask you, when's the last time you had a paper check? I bet that money goes straight to a debit card. And yes, indeed, you can always go to the bank and get you some cash. But for the most part, swipers be swiping, okay? And when you're checking your balance by phone, this is definitely given digital. Uranus in Taurus was doing the most, okay? But we are walking away from that. And we are moving over to the communication part of things, the data part of things, the information part of things. Having Uranus, which is the great awakener, who is rebellious, it's the innovator. It does not deal with the status quo at all. When you're thinking about Uranus energy, think about freak accidents or just like a genius breakthrough. Just that sudden aha moment, okay? Uranus is electricity. It's unpredictable. And it's designed to shake us out of our comfort zones, to change things up. It's all about evolution, baby. Now, when you think about that, and you think about Gemini energy, which Gemini is the social butterfly, of course, it's also the sign of the twin, so it's like a duality, if you will. It's ruled by Mercury, and Gemini is an air sign, which Uranus rules Aquarius, which is also an air sign. So Uranus and Gemini is going to actually get together, and they're going to get along just fine. We will definitely find that this energy is a lot less combative than when Uranus was in Taurus, but we're still going to feel it, because Uranus is always going to be that girl who she is, okay? And like I said, she comes to stir things up. And when she teams up with Gemini, which represents the process of our learnings, our local neighborhoods, as well as our siblings, our communication, our data, our travel and cars, communication, as well as just our overall curiosity, this energy is willing to shake up all of that shit, okay? It's going to change all of it. Gemini is the ultimate student and the ultimate messenger. It's curious, adaptable, and it can be a bit restless. So that's why Uranus and this energy is definitely going to get along just fine, because Uranus is a restless energy. That's why I just be doing sporadic shit. Now, Gemini energy cares about what's going down right now in the immediate circle. We're talking about that group chat action. We're talking about that quick commute. And we're talking about those short form stories. Now, when we talk about pairing that energy and pairing that up with Uranus, it's all about that innovation and technology. We are talking about innovating communication, or just a total overall rewiring of just us as humans as a collective. Now, this energy is definitely going to change the way the information is spread. If you are a content creator, sharing your thoughts, sharing your opinions, sharing what information you have is definitely going to be a great thing for the next 7 years, okay? And we're actually already seeing it. You know, a lot of times we trust more people that we see on TikTok or YouTube more than we trust our news because we've been lied to so much. So we're really changing up where we get our information and starting to just rely on just the real world in general. Now, of course, as a community, we've just resorted to giving this information to each other just because we know that if we don't, it's not going to get out there the way that it's supposed to get out there. Now, because of that, the information often feels a bit chaotic, but it also represents that revolutionary energy that I was explaining as far as Uranus and Gemini. It just gives that. So during these next 7 years, we've already started seeing the beginning of it, but we are definitely going to see the funeral and the burial of the death of the old media. Okay. We're going to have flowers. There's going to be somebody yelling in the back. Ain't nobody told me nothing. I'm just saying. Yeah, we're going to have the funeral service of the old media and the new media will be born. Now, in addition, you will also notice that short form content will also be a little bit more center stage. In recent years, we've seen the rise of TikTok and Reels, but Uranus and Gemini actually suggest that there is a next evolution besides that. Now, I know y'all hate to talk about the AI content and everything like that, but as you can see, we are not getting away from it. So what we need to do is make sure that we put in strict laws, make sure that we are using companies that are being responsible and not doing things that are intentionally and unnecessarily harming our planet and taking away from us. Because trust me when I say there's a way to do everything. Using AI programs like Claude and a few others that are out there would be my suggestion as often as possible if you choose to use AI at all. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to get around it, but you know what I mean. Now, another thing that's going to be big is reality storytelling. People are going to want to hear real life stories. It's time to be real on the internet. The time for those fake influencers that live this imaginary life that's not even real to them is over. People are starving for realness. People are starving for truth, and people are starving for content that's based in reality and not based in fiction. Now, of course, we will be having a major shift when it comes to how we communicate with one another as far as our technology is concerned, as well as the vehicles that we drive because, you know, commune deals with transportation. Now, we see exactly what's going on with the gases, okay? A hybrid car may not be a bad idea right now, okay? I'm just saying. We are definitely going to have to get a little bit more creative when it comes to our transportation, just because we already see the direction that things are going in. And if you think that we're going back to what we were before, you got another thing coming, okay? Uranus is coming in to bring in that change, okay? Whether you ready or not, here the hell she come, okay? But honestly, Uranus just coming to do her job. This is what she does, okay? She comes to stir things up because things are not always supposed to remain the same. And she's going to do what she came to do. We are definitely going to be seeing a lot more drone deliveries. There will be changes in our local services. They are already throwing hints out there when it comes to our mail. Letters is another form of communication, and they are already talking about how, you know, they don't know how much longer we gonna have our postal services. And we know how long everybody has been trying to get everybody to do the paperless billing when it comes to any of your bills. So there's no doubt of the direction that we're headed. You just have to be able to flow and go with the flow, because if you fight against the current, you're liable to drown. Now, mind and machine will be working hand in hand during this transit. You, as an individual, need to figure out how this is going to work out for you. A lot of these old jobs that we had before are going to be taken over by AI, okay? And that's just what it is. And these are both jobs big and small. Now, don't get it twisted. When I say go with the current, that doesn't mean just let whatever go down. I'm just saying. Understand that we are going into a new energy. So you need to figure out what that looks like for you and be open to the change, because the old system, if you're hoping that we go back to that, you're just going to be sitting there hoping, and it's going to get harder for you. because the time that we're in is just a time of change. That's just what it is. Now, in addition, because of the fact that this deals with your local community as well as your siblings, you will find that there are going to be a lot of changes in your local community as well as some of your relationships with your siblings. Now, because of the fact that that Uranus energy deals with rebellion, so keeping that in mind when we're talking about the neighborhoods and the communities, we're definitely leaning that this energy would be more beneficial for the people, by the people type of energy, okay? This is less about the systems and more about radical change when it comes to depending on one another, the relationships that we build with one another, and just leaning on each other a little bit more, okay? Now, of course, you can also see changes in your neighborhood when it comes to just like businesses popping up, things that deals with digital. There's a lot of data centers. You're going to have to fight about those when it comes to them coming to your community, but there are going to be a lot of things that we notice just popping up out of nowhere. This is the type of energy that would cause a rebellion within your local community. We are definitely going to start seeing smart cities popping up. Oh yes, the smart cities are definitely being worked on. Trust and believe, okay? We're going to start seeing a lot more automated businesses that don't have humans working at them and that are just strictly working through a robotic AI team. That's just what it is. Now, of course, that won't be every neighborhood, but there will be a lot. And over the span of the next 7 years, we're definitely going to see these changes, and they will happen quickly. A lot of them is going to feel like one day they not here and the next day they just there. You know, that's what a lot of it's going to feel like. Now, you yourself might find yourself moving to a new neighborhood as well, sporadically. This is also going to be a time when you change your social circles. You'll find yourself being around a lot more people that are focused on the future, or a lot more people who are headed or in the same energy as your future self. You're really going to find a strong need to be around people who share the same intellectual frequency as you, and that you can mentally vibe with, and they have the same type of thought patterns as you. Now, something else that we may be having funeral services for, and definitely asking who made the mac and cheese, is when it comes to the death of the degree. That's right, y'all. Gemini rules education, early learning education. Not only are we going to see the children start going to school a little bit more online, y'all know COVID already had gave us a taste of this, but we're definitely going to start seeing that on a more massive scale now. A lot more parents are, resulting to that anyway, just because of the fact that, it's tiresome worrying about your child going to school, not knowing if the school going to get shot up or what type of things that they're going to have to deal with as far as bullying. These kids is hell of aggressive these days, So it's just a lot to worry about. And especially you just don't even know if you got to worry about the teachers too. It's just a lot. So for parents that have the option to be able to have their kids at home, I'm pretty sure that that's going to be more of the thing that they go with. Not to mention, preparing us for the traditional 4-year degree model is definitely going to be thrown out, okay? With tools like nano learning that is specifically geared to a specific skill set, it's going to start changing how education is actually done. The vibe is really going to be, instead of I went to film school, it's going to be more of I mastered these 5 AI cinematography modules in a weekend. And not just for those who can pay for that prestigious name. Yeah, we're talking about an equal playing field, okay? This day and age is going to be all about who wants it more. Now, with all these new changes that we're having, we definitely need to be aware of a collective spike in anxiety and insomnia, especially with all of these digital vices that are going to be coming about. We have to make sure that we stay balanced, self-controlled, and grounded. We have to make sure that we still hitting that pavement, we still going outside, because learning how to unplug is going to be prevalent, okay? It's going to be a part of your health. So just make sure that you're keeping that in mind and not overdoing it online, okay? Now, in addition, another thing that we're going to be looking at is people, AI twinning. Digital twinning, okay? Now, trust and believe me, creating this channel, my Aquarius placements got me here, okay? Now, with that being said, Gemini is the sign of twins, the double, and Uranus, the planet of technology, gives us a 1 + 1 = 2 type of energy, okay? Me making this personal choice to make my channel like this was just because of the fact that I wanted my freedom. Shit. I'm a Sims girly. I loved IMVU. I'm one of those type of girlies, okay? So having an AI avatar was perfect for me for a channel, especially after I got to researching the deep seeks. I used to be one of the girlies in front of the camera, but it was just a personal choice to kind of go in back of the camera and do it this way. And I knew that it would be like a harder grind because, you know, a lot of people aren't used to this right now. And there's always a chance that people won't give your content a chance just because they may not like the setup. But my freedom is incredibly important to me, so I just went ahead and started to be my innovative self, created the channel, and let the chips fall where they may, okay? And my tribe is finding me, so I'm not even tripping, okay? But don't be surprised if you start seeing a lot more digital placeholders and a lot more digital influencers. We already have all these AI influencers that is on Instagram. Now, of course, you know me. I don't never come with this information without coming with a receipt. Okay, that's one thing I'm going to do is bring all the receipts. So in order to get the receipt for this energy, you have to go back 84 years to the last time we were in this energy. Okay, so we're talking about roughly 1941 through 1949. Now, during this era, they had a total mental revolution. Now, this is during the golden age of radio. For the first time, information and or propaganda traveled into everybody's home simultaneously. So for the first time, you have individuals who feel like they can actually reach others that are, you know, on the other side of the globe. Now, this era took us from radio broadcasting to television all the way here to narrowcasting. And I know what you're thinking. What the hell is narrowcasting, Anova? What the hell? Well, instead of one voice for everyone, now we have millions of voices as individuals. And that's where we're at currently. Anybody can post from their phone and tell exactly what's on their mind, provide any type of information that they want to provide, or just simply tell a joke. Whatever it is, we have access to be able to do that individually. And because of that, we are definitely going to be more tuned into each other, as we have been already kind of showing that, but it's just going to be more and more of that. People are definitely bored with the regular TV programs. It all seems the same. Now, another thing that we've seen in the 1940s was the birth of the digital computer. Bet you didn't know that, did you? Now, this was also the mastery of code breaking when it comes to cracking the enemy's secrets. Please note that enemy secrets will be revealed once again, by the way, but I'm sure it just will be provided in a new and innovative way. Now, in addition, we're not just breaking codes or finding out, you know, secrets. We are rebuilding the entire financial system and informational coding when it comes to the world of blockchain and quantum computing. These are things that I would advise that you look up in your own spare time and get a lot more information on. I'm just telling you now. The secret isn't a military code anymore. It's a privacy of your own data in an era of total transparency. Please know that privacy is a currency now, and it is incredibly limited. With everyone having a Ring camera, cameras everywhere on the street, we don't know what spy is looking at us through our phones and our computer screens. I'm just saying. Now, another thing that went down in the 1940s that we're going to kind of see come back around in a new innovative version would be the fact that in the 1940s, we had the rapid development of the jet engine and mass production of the transport of planes. So the world started to feel a lot smaller around that time because you could fly across it. Now we're going to have the drones for our local deliveries, as well as they're going to be beginning the commercial space travel. Watch what I tell you, okay? The world or the universe is going to start feeling even smaller with that being said, okay? Now, I know y'all done seen the self-driving car. I don't think I can get with that. As a matter of fact, I don't even really want to be on the road with it right now because they don't have it mastered. I've seen a couple of them stop mid-traffic, okay? I'm just saying, they're going to be working on getting that perfected because we're going to be seeing that more and more as well. People are definitely going to start moving away from gas fuel cars and more into the electric cars. That's where we're headed. Now, of course, there are going to be a lot of good changes, but of course, with good changes, you already know somebody's going to take some shit and ruin it. Now, with that being said, in the 1940s, the message that was being provided through the radio and eventually television was full of propagandas, okay? Now, when you break down the word broadcasting, broad would mean an expansion of audience. And the word casting, well, we know that's casting a spell. So when it comes to the world of broadcasting, you have to understand that this is a manipulation of the mind. People really had to learn how to discern the truth from the government-sponsored narratives during each of the wars. We're currently dealing with it now, but they went through it back in the 1940s as well. I mean, some things just don't never change. What can I say? Now, with that being said, you have to know that there are going to be some manipulation of the mind that we're currently going to be dealing with. Now, I spoke earlier about the deep fakes, and you really got to be careful. They got this one program, it's called Wayne or Wan. Hell, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but all I know is a person can do an entire video and take a photo of anybody or anything and put the two in this AI system, and whoever was in that picture has now became that person in the video. There are currently reports of individuals receiving video calls from people pretending to be their children or people who are pretending to be the parents. And they'll do a video call on a platform like Facebook. And the only thing that they would need is a picture of you or your loved one. Now, that's some scary shit. I ain't gonna hold you. But this is stuff that you need to be aware of that is out there. Gemini is a twin, so it's literally the digital copy. These digital versions typically look and sound real for the most part. But yeah, y'all need to go ahead and come up with code words for you and your children, especially if y'all are putting recent updated photos of yourselves constantly online. Now, another thing that went down during the 1940s was World War II. And we know where we're at right now, okay? Now, during that time, the local neighborhood changed because we had women entering the workforce for the first time. Communities literally had to reorganize for a singular goal to just keep the community going. Now, with that being said, we are definitely going to be looking at that. We've actually already started with the death of the office. We've had a funeral for that as well, okay? A lot more people are working from home. That used to be not a thing, okay? Unless you were a specialist of some kind and you made your own hours, or you were Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable, who had your practitioner's office in your basement of your home, okay? Nobody was working from home back in the day, but that is something that damn near everybody is doing now, or at least able to work on the go. Well, Uranus and Gemini is cementing that lifestyle. Now, the 1940s definitely gave us the tools to talk across the oceans. We're going to start seeing tools that's going to be able to let us talk between the dimensions of reality. You watch and see. And trust me, y'all, the aliens been here. And I think we all know that. That's why there's not a shock when it comes to that. I think where the shock will come in is who are the aliens? Because, child, they've been living among us for a while, okay? But trust me, Uranus and Gemini will go ahead and feed us that information. Now, Uranus energy is all about expecting that unexpected. So you need to know where this is sitting in your chart so you know where to expect the unexpected, okay? Now, with that being said, let's dive right into it. Aries risings, this sits in your third house. Now, you already got a lot going on with all of those planets that were transiting your first house. You still got plenty of them in here at the time when Gemini will go into Uranus. And seeing as how this is the third house, the house of Gemini, this is going to feel a little extra special for you as well, okay? We are talking radical new ways of thinking. You might suddenly learn a new language, start a podcast, or just realize some of your new neighbors are actual aliens, okay? Your phone and or iPad is going to be one of your main sources of income during this time. Just a heads up. Taurus risings. This actually falls in your home house of the second house of your money, values, and your self-worth. We're talking extreme financial pivots, extreme ups and downs. This is just a time where you just need to make sure that you got several sources of income. That way, if something happens with one, you're still cool on all other ends, okay? Now, you're definitely going to be moving away from traditional banking into digital assets a little bit more, or side hustles. Either way, there's going to be totally unconventional ways of getting to that bag, and just prepare yourself to be a little bit more flexible when it comes to finances, okay? Now, for my Gemini risings, this falls in your first house, okay? Baby, it's like Uranus is going to be ruling you for the next 7 years. You are definitely going to see radical changes when it comes to your looks. This is going to be a beautiful time for a rebranding, baby, because you are definitely the main character of this particular transit. Just be ready to embrace the chaos and the new, because you're going to be seeing it. You're going to be seeing it, okay? Now, for my Cancer risings, this energy is falling in your 12th house. So for 7 years, we dealing with this in your subconscious, in your spirituality. Hidden enemies might be popping out from nowhere, and you might find yourself having massive random downloads at 3 in the morning, okay? As a matter of fact, that's so Raven called and said you could just have the job, okay? Here, damn. Now, do not be surprised if things that you thought was buried and completely put away just pops out of nowhere for you to be resolved. But go on and resolve it, because it's trying to clear its way out. Your subconscious needs to make room for all these new hidden talents that's going to be popping up that you never even knew you had. Now, for my Leo risings, this is actually hitting your 11th house of friends, social networks. This is actually the house of Uranus, so yeah, you're going to be feeling it too. Welcome to the great friend purge, okay? You're going to be getting them hoes up out of there. If they are not serving the innovative, more future self of you, you are definitely going to be networking with a different class of people. You're going to be drawing in more of the weirdos, more of the innovators, more of the rebel spirits that just goes against the grain just because. Your tribe is not just about who you grew up with, but who you share the same frequency as. Now, you are somebody who does content, then this is going to be great energy for you, okay? Because this says viral all day, okay? So if it's something that you've been thinking of, I would definitely be thinking of what you're going to be talking about, because go on and do it. Yeah, the stars are aligned for you. Now, for my Virgo risings, we are talking about major changes as far as your career is concerned. And when I say that this career is random, yeah, child, you might find that your career choice just does a complete 180, okay? And you end up doing something that is completely unorthodox and unexpected of anything that you ever thought you would be doing. You are also someone who can expect to see sudden viral moments, or just suddenly have a strong interest in technology and just become this tech mogul overnight, okay? I'm just saying, that's how Uranus works. Now, anytime the 10th house is involved, I always tell people never forget that karma is attached to this house. So this is energy that you definitely want to make sure that you take your time with and handle with care. Now, for my Libra risings, this energy falls in your 9th house. That's that Jupiter house of expansion, your travels and journeys, your philosophies and wisdom, and just your overall look. Now, I would not be surprised if you become some type of digital nomad, but you are definitely on the journey to financial freedom as well. So yeah. Now, you are definitely changing how you look at the world overall. That in itself is getting a massive upgrade. You are definitely going to be having a lot of aha moments when it comes to philosophies and thoughts, and really taking that time to further your wisdom. But your need for freedom is going to be incredibly strong around this time, okay? Now, for my Scorpio risings, this actually falls in your 8th house. This is home for you. Now, let's just start by saying you're going to have some massive transformations of extremes, ups and downs. I just have to put that out there first and foremost. We're just going to get it out there. You are definitely going to be receiving a lot of aha moments, and in addition, your spidey senses is going to be on fire. Now, there could be some extreme ups and downs when it comes to your shared resources, when it comes to your partner's money. This type of energy, you might see an inheritance or a major tax bill. But this energy is also giving digital assets. Let's not get it twisted. I'm going to give you the same advice that I gave your sister sign. Just make sure that you have several different streams of income, okay? Now, when it comes to your psychological, you're diving deep. You're going into the unseen. You are also going to be another one who feeling like you can see into the future and having a lot of those aha, that's so Raven type of moments. I'm just saying. You may even find yourself taking interest in high-tech research. So I'm just saying. Now, for my Sagittarius risings, this energy hits your 7th house. Now, we all know that 7th house is that house of partnerships, contracts, and marriages, and just overall house of mirrors. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you don't want to get married, you might want to stay away from Vegas. This energy is primed for sporadic commitments. Now, on the other hand, if you are bored within your commitment and Uranus isn't having fun, now you know she gonna hand you them damn scissors, okay, and tell you to get to work. This is the type of energy that sends shockwaves through your relationship and partnership area. So you always have to expect the unexpected wherever Uranus is showing up. Now, on the other hand, if you are single, you might find yourself attracting different types of individuals. They might be brilliant, erratic, totally out there, or just somebody you never thought that you would even would be your type or you would want to date. All I'm saying is just learn how to expect the unexpected. Wherever Uranus is, that's just what we're dealing with, okay? Now, you know the 7th house just deals with partnerships overall, so there may be some other relationships that you may have to cut off. So this will fall for any of those, okay? Now, for my Capricorn risings, this energy falls in your 6th house of work and wellness, and just your overall routine and rhythm of life. Now, with that being said, you are having a routine and rhythm of life overhaul, okay? You are so done with the grind culture, okay? You are definitely going automative as much as possible. Anything that you can do to keep your nervous system from frying up, you are definitely going to do it, okay? And for you, baby, that involves working smarter, not harder. With this type of placement, you definitely have to roll with the punches. And for you, at times, this may feel a little uneasy because as a Capricorn rising, you like things to be steady and settled and have structure. You know what I mean? But this is just going to be a time where structure is just going to look like going with the flow. Now, for my Aquarius risings, this energy is hitting your 5th house of creativity, romance, fun, and just your overall expression of life. For the next 7 years, just expect to be shining your creative light and be that creative lightning bug, okay? Just shining and blooming on everyone. You can expect to have sudden bursts of genius moments. You're going to have some oddly weird romantic encounters. You're probably going to be very adventurous as far as dating because you're going to be dating outside of the norm. If you've been ready to launch that passion project, especially if it's something that is digital or just something completely different than what you're used to, the universe is going to give you that blank check. Just go on and do it. Just go on and do it, okay? Now, in addition, the 5th house also deals with the house of children. So you might want to look out for any type of shocking information when it comes to the direction of children. Or if you already have children, then just maybe something shocking or unexpected coming when it comes to your children. Now, for my Pisces risings, this energy is hitting your 4th house of home, family, that roots, that mother, and that womb, okay? Now, I would not be surprised if you turn your home into your very own digital studio. I'm just saying. You might even find that there is some unexpected shocking news when it comes to your family or some secrets that might be coming out the woodwork that you never thought that you would hear. It's going to be shocking. You're going to be in awe about it. This may be a time where you also just decide to just pick up everything and just move and just live in a place where nobody ever expected you to live, not even you. Now, for all my rising signs, if any of y'all are thinking about doing any type of digital content, I would definitely keep it in the line or where this energy sits in your chart. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, like I said, with the Aquarius risings, you know, you want to make sure that you're doing something that is a passion project. It's got to be something that you really love. For my Pisces rising, anything that's going to be focused around home and family, maybe even some content based around home decor. We're talking about any content that is based around where this energy sits in whatever house this sits for you, okay? Now, keeping in mind, Gemini energy is about dual energy, okay? But this is not about picking one or the other. This is not about picking a path. Uranus is about having a plan A and a plan B, okay? It's about having multiple options available. That way you have the freedom of choice, and if something explodes or goes chaotic with one thing, you definitely have something else to fall back on, so you're not just left out there completely just, shit out of luck. This energy is mainly about making sure that you express yourself in your own unique way You don't have to go along just to get along, okay? You can be yourself. We are literally walking into a new era, and we need to be aware of that, okay? And going into that, we cannot be scared to take chances, and we damn sure can't fear the unknown, because Uranus is going to give us the unknown all the time, okay? We got to be flexible with this energy. We are definitely walking into a new world, okay? And the best thing that I could recommend for all of us to do, baby, is just expect the unexpected, okay? Now, my cosmic cousins, you already know what it is. I have spoke and have spilled so much tea. I am completely full. It is time for me to depart, my loves. But I just want to thank y'all for spending this time with me, listening to this information, and hopefully you've taken note of this information and you have found it very knowledgeable for you, enough for you to be able to apply it to your life. And if you have, definitely go ahead and give me a like. Go ahead and comment where this energy is sitting for you down below, and make sure that you have hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more of this cosmic tea that I want to sip with you all the time, baby. And with that being said, I'm out, cosmic cousins.